dozen toms right there. So that's pretty awesome. As I slowly made my way up the field edge to approach my second calling setup, I spotted this giant coyote already out in the open. I hit record on the camcorder, telescoped it up just over the rise so I could get him on camera, and the moment he ducked in the tall grass, I eased up around the corner and sat down to do some soft lip squeaking, but he wasn't interested. After 10 minutes, I backed out, circled around him from downwind, and tried again, but still no luck. Before I left, I wanted to try one more spot on the far end of the property, and I didn't realize it until later when I reviewed the footage. The coyote I shot on my fourth setup was the exact same coyote I spotted in the field on my second calling setup. The field where I killed him was across a creek, and when I picked him up, his feet were soaking wet. I was trailing behind him the entire morning, and finally was able to coax him out in the open, and man, oh man, was he huge. Shocked that didn't work out. When I got to the end of the field, I walked really slow so I didn't pop up like a jack-in-the-box over the top. I slowly got to the edge of the fruit plot where I bush hogged yesterday. There was a coyote standing right there, and he just kind of crept into the tall grass. I waited for him to disappear, hit record. With the camera on the tripod, I snuck up to the edge to take a shot, and he was gone. I didn't know that at the time until I got up to the edge. And I sat down, I lip squeaked, and I tried to pull him out. But it looked like he was just gonna go lay down. I'm shocked he didn't at least take 10 steps and come back out, give me a shot opportunity. But I circled around him, moved to a different spot. That didn't pan out either. So now I'm going to my third. We'll see what happens. Might have just topped my personal best for a coyote as far as size here in Kentucky. Look at this thing. This thing is huge, big male. My God. Oh, oh my God. That thing is 65 pounds. Holy, my God. 35 degrees this morning. Finally, it's been warm and kind of overcast and rainy the last week or so. Finally, the temperature dropped a little bit. And on my first setup, as you saw earlier on camera, I was sneaking up to my food plot on the other side of the property, and I made a setup early down by the creek, and then I decided to hit that spot second. And as I'm creeping up the hill, I spot one right in the field that I bush hogged yesterday. And so I telescope the tripod up, I hit record, and I start to belly crawl up to the edge. And when I did, the whole time I was doing that, he was already in the field, and I know that when I went back and looked at the footage. But I sat there in the corner, lip squeak like that to him, you know, and I thought at the very least he'd come popping back out, but he didn't. And then I circled back and around and further downwind, and I made a second call-in setup and called with 3 or 4 different sounds. Started off with a blue jay in distress, and then I increased the volume, tried jackrabbit, and then I went pup cry in distress. That didn't work. So then I decided, okay, I'm gonna try one more spot, and the wind's actually not going straight toward him. It's kind of like going kind of between us, right to left, actually. And it looked like he was getting a little bit nervous and like he was gonna duck back in the corn. So as soon as he turned broadside, I took the shot and dropped him. This is my PB, personal best, baby. This thing is just, I mean, he has literally the size of a head of like a female wolf or something. This thing is like 65 pounds. I could barely lift it up. Dang. So the old 204 Ruger, chambered in 32 grain Hornady with the 4x6 VORTEX Viper scope, Swagger bipods, you know, for a nice steady rest, and the X2S FOXPRO. Once again, this thing is awesome. So the turkeys that you saw when I first rolled into the property are gonna be smiling tonight. Man, I think there's 12 in the group, 12 gobblers. So that's pretty darn exciting. But predator management is definitely a part of hunting. We owe it to the other game that we pursue to be a good steward of the land, you know, and manage these predators, you know, either by calling like this or from trapping. But either way, it has to be done. Look at that. These things can do some damage, man.